Oh, okay. It used to just come up and now you've got to go.
Well, it opened.
And then you can just, okay, thank you. Hi, hey. Get my beer.
Going to call to order, this workshop meeting of the governing body of the city of Ruidoso Downs on this Monday, September the 9th, 2024 at 3 p.m. Shall we stand for the pledge of allegiance to our flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Kemper. Can we get a roll call, please?
Counselor Weaver,
Here.
Counselor Miller,
Here.
Counselor Lacewell,
Here.
Counselor Proctor.
Aye.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
These workshop items are for non-action, and item A will be the first one. It's discussion on the design for the new city hall located inside the Hubbard Museum of the American West. We're open for discussion. Opinions,
Opinions? I got a big one, all right.
objections, whatever.
We just, I mean, I don't understand how they think we're gonna get 1.8 million to put all these little offices in. When we could go in there and, go with something cheaper, have the mayor's office, a council chambers. And dividers.
Okay,
It's just, I mean, cause the way they're talking about this money for this year, there's not gonna be very much of it.
you're probably right. There never is enough, even in good times.
Right, well, I mean, for stuff like this. And Joey's talking about we need 1.8 million for this,
That's right.
and that ain't got nothing to do with the air conditioners, the heaters, or nothing on top.
Some of the affected cities from the fire are talking about putting freezes on the upper wages with no,
On what?
to freeze salaries
Oh, I see.
of the people at the top to save money. And then what WG's saying is you were wanting to
You're
spend.
gonna freeze my salary?
I know, Dee, you make the big bucks, Dee.
Okay, well, would you guys like some input? I noticed we have,
Yeah, talk to
one of the directors here. Can you help? Did y'all want to hear or?
Yes, we like
Yeah.
it.
Okay, y'all want to go ahead with?
Yeah, I'd like to hear it because I spent about 4 hours looking at the blueprints. I can read a blueprint, but I don't have a big enough magnifying glass at home to find the numbers and the lines where the dots cross and don't cross. So
And I'm used to touch where I
it,
can touch it.
it does say right here, your comments over there in a summarized letter from Justice and Joey, that the attached document is designed for the newly city hall. Estimated construction cost of $1,800,000, which of $856,590 is already secured.
Yes,
So
sir.
that money's in the bank or in somebody's locked drawer. So anyway, it's there. The city needs to come up with a $943,410. Whether that can be got in a grant or not, that you take, Joe said to you about it.
Well, the money that we've received so far has been capital outlay funding. So we would go back and ask for more funding as far as capital outlay and possible grants that are out there for.
And that's in November, right? That are part of October, November.
Don't get me to the saying that for sure, because I'm not sure when I let that stuff up to Joe. Yeah, I'm not sure when we ask for the funding for capital outlay, but that's what we've had in the past for construction and all the improvements that we've made to the building thus far.
I do know, Mayor, that if we go back in and change anything on the design of the job right now, that the engineers, that's gonna be another hit out of the pockets of the citizens And out of the budget, out of Joy's budget, probably a few other budgets, pulled out a little bit.
I think that so far with all the improvements made to the building and stuff, I think, most of the money's been from capital outlay. So it hasn't come directly out of the city's money. But, you know, we're looking at this as a long-term, fix to this building. I mean,
So I've heard their numbers. How many years you tailing?
what's that?
Years till completion.
Years to completion. Well, that just depends on the funding sources, whether or not we can get the funding. I mean, really, that's what it depends on, whether we can get the money. If we can get the money, we approve the design, we can send it out to bids, and then we know for sure how much we're looking at. You know, but it just depends on the funding.
Okay, so-
Where we can scratch up another $1 million.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if we didn't approve this design per se, okay, I'm not saying we're not,
Yes, sir.
but did approve it, they have to go back to the engineers. They'd have to change it. That's gonna cost.
That does cost, yes.
Okay, so how many times have they come up with the design and you or Joy have looked at it and said, no, that's not the way we look at it?
We had a preliminary design, and I think we went through, and if I'm understanding correctly, I think we had like a get by free pass for like two changes, and we've made those changes, after, people here from City Hall and, Public Works went and looked at it and kind of concurred on the design changes. So we've kind of, you know, we're to the point to where we kind of just need to make a decision whether we want to proceed or not.
When was these looked at this year?
Within the past year, yeah.
Because these are the first time I've seen these.
2 years ago.
That might have been, I don't.
Alan, you recall when you guys went over there?
Yeah, the years just kind of blend together in my head, so don't ask, I'm not the right person to ask for dates.
This design was.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, Joey, where are you?
Oh, good.
Yes, sir. Joey.
okay, sorry, I'm here now. I need to clarify a bunch of this. This was a grant to design a city hall that was approved probably 3 to 4 years ago. This money is to only be spent to design a city hall. So whether y'all want to build it or not, the council has already awarded the contract and we've already paid these people to design it. Y'all can table it and wait for 10 years if y'all want to build it. But all we're asking today is for y'all to look at the design and say, okay, this is acceptable. If it is, the architect has to finalize the plans, produce us a set of documents that we could put it out to bid and complete their job. That's all we're asking for right now.
There.
And I'll stand for any questions.
Joey, I have a question. So the second document attached to this is called the opinion of probable cost. And it's closer to $2 million, 1.991, actually. 1.992. And so, but I heard someone say a little while ago, 1.8. Is it 1.8
It was
or is it?
1.8. It was 1.8 when I submitted these documents a month ago. The engineer or the architect sent me an updated cost last week, and that is the 1.9. And that
Oh,
does
wow.
include, it does include air conditioning and everything for that facility. It's a complete construction of that facility.
Thank you.
Yeah, the costs just keep going up on us weekly, it seems like, on everything.
I forgot I printed this out, I'm sorry.
That's what I was looking at.
May I say something?
Okay.
I just missed it out.
Oh, let us look at this.
You know, and back to where we were talking about the funding sources, you know, we have begged and pleaded with capital outlay, Greg Nybert, Harlan Vincent. They've gave us all this money. I hate to keep going back to them every year. There is other funding sources that are federal. There is other state sources that are grants that we can look at that are for more like city halls, fire stations, stuff like that. I don't want to keep hitting the capital outlay guys with this when they have other things they need to fund this year with the disasters we've had. So I would really like to look for funding somewhere else. Even if it's a loan, they have a 0.1% loan going right now for infrastructure also.
0.1, I want in on that.
Exactly.
I just, Joey, my only deal with all this is, it's like, you know, somebody's drinking champagne and drawing this out on a beer budget. Cause there's
I
a lot
understand
of
that.
offices in here. Ever Swinging Monkey has got a cage, a vault, assistant, like right here, the clerks, assistant clerk, a clerk vault, assistant finance director, finance vault, finance director. Do we got that much
Yes,
money?
sir. Those are common offices for cities. Those are required, like the vaults are required for the record retention and for the finance. We have the same. I think we added 2 more offices than what City Hall currently has. And just to back up a little bit, the previous regime years ago, Miss Verdon, they had a City Hall designed. It was $7.5 million to build one in the City Hall parking lot or at the museum parking lot. So this is a lot cheaper than what the previous group had wanted. And this is just an ideal. I mean, all we're here to, I mean, right now is just to say, okay, the design is fine, be done with it. We don't have to move on anything.
So Joey,
Okay.
the design that you've got in front of us here, that doesn't include the court and the police department, does it?
No, ma'am. That was what the design we have is what the money we had. I have talked to the chief already. And there was actually some discussions of possibly like maybe getting this part done and then eventually building the police department in the museum in the back lower half and possibly bringing the courts over eventually too.
Counselors, I just remembered some things from the past. And one of the things that's somewhere along the line that I recall, this building could be sold and applied to that. Counselor Miller, I'm gonna leave it at that. Counselor Miller, you've got a thought.
Well, these people do this and they work at doing this and they know what they're doing. Or we wouldn't be looking at it today. But I was gonna say is what Jody's just said. $1 million is nothing compared to building a new one. The new one, like he said, was 7 million. And if we just have to get $1 million to complete this,
$1 million, no, almost 2.
no,
What-
we have that 900,000. We have that 800,000 already. It's 1 million is all we need.
So that the counselors will all know, I think you probably do. But the property over at the museum extends all the way to Champions Run. And therefore, that's where another facility could be built. And we own that property in the building, so there's another trade-off, but you're right. Plus the fact you'll never get a building built that has the atmosphere that building has.
That's right. We would be so unique. And not only that, we can keep the museum. And that's important, I think. For
Yes.
this little.
Yes, yes, sir.
Well, if I could say, the museum, the idea behind this, when the idea was first thrown out, was to offset the cost of the building of the museum. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's 50,000 square feet. And in order to kind of offset the cost of running that facility, the idea was brought forth to, well, let's use the space we have. It's accessible, we have parking there, we have handicapped access. Let's use that space to put City Hall there. The monument is a iconic location right behind there, and it'd just be a great place for City Hall.
And there are no payments. That building belongs to us. Bob Miller acquired that from the Hubbards. And it was given to us, so not gonna be any payments on the facility, which is an awesome.
Well, it needs to be used. The building needs to be used. A building that's sits unused, it just stuff starts falling apart, and we need people in there. So
that parking lot's big enough to even put a civic center in. I think we would really like to have that.
Where you gonna park at?
That parking lot is huge. And you can, some of the employees could park below and anybody that needs to for handicap reasons.
the building itself is large enough to actually hold events downstairs like they once did.
Uh-huh.
You know, so if we can get people there, get City Hall, open it up to the museum up to a, you know, a lower scale, have City Hall there. I mean, the potentials are like kind of limitless there with that building.
There's a lot of property down below that goes all the way to the.
Counselor Lacewell?
What would they do with all the wagons if there was some kind of thing going on downstairs?
We've always moved them around,
Around.
move them to the edges. I mean, we've done that over the years. They had large events, even when Hubbards were still running out of there. We would go and help move wagons and it's, yeah. I mean,
Counselor Proctor?
We had a Christmas party down there at the time. Back when I still worked in the city, I don't know what it was. Joy,
Yes, sir.
didn't you say that that you looked into it and if we tried to build one close to what we're getting now for the museum, it'd run us around 8.5 million to 9.5 million?
Not quite the same, but honestly, if you were to build one the same square footage and we're looking at this, when we talked to the architects originally, we asked them, we said, okay, is it cheaper to remodel this or build a new one? And they told us it would be at least double to 3 times more expensive to build a new one. So, and then that was before we've had all these issues where everything's going up so tremendously, everything's tripling like monthly. The one thing I do want to remind everybody is the money we have in capital outlay that you're seeing, that 800,000, whatever it is, that was money that was allocated for this. We can't take that 800,000 and build a water line or pave a road with that. That money was dedicated for the city hall construction and for design of city hall. So we need to do something with it eventually, or beg and plead to reallocate it, but it's going to be real hard to reallocate because it's going to mean those senators and House of Representatives are going to want to give that money to some type of emergency thing we've been dealing with instead of refunding something else. And so that's where that money came from. That 670 was from Mr. Vincent, and the 300 was from Greg Nybert, I believe, and that's what it's set aside for.
Counselor Lacewell?
Joy, looking at the picture that I'm looking at here of the upper floor, I only see literally 3 toilets, not just 3 bathrooms, but 3 toilets. Is there going to be enough restrooms in here?
There is 4 toilets on the north end. There is 1 in the kitchen on that wing, and they would be building another, I believe, double occupancy at the end of the council chambers for that area also. So it's not showing, the area that's not being constructed is not in the plans. But if you went out the city hall's front doors and continue north, there's also new bathrooms that we just got through remodeling. And there's also, I don't know, 8 to 10 stalls in the lower level of the building also.
Counselor Proctor just pointed out, and I was thinking the same thing. That building has more than we have here. Probably by a couple.
Well, we give 25, 29,000 for one bathroom and 30,000 for another one. They already have more than 2 in them.
It has upstairs and downstairs bathrooms.
No, I mean the ones that we okayed money for already.
But there's plenty there already. They just had to redo the sewer system, probably the facilities. But they're there.
Counselor Proctor?
Well, from everything's been said and what things that I couldn't find, magnifying glass on this. 1.9 million is a heck of a lot better than 10 million by the time we get around to get the design and everything, and it all costs more than that right now today than 10 million. So.
Some of the trade-off maybe, I don't know, just thinking because you guys are saying things that kind of bring back some memories. The city was making it and spending a lot more than what we're talking about right now at one time, but Artie Hubbard had left, Judy helped me, 10.5 million.
Yeah.
To, yes, sir,
Yeah,
10.5 million, to supplement what the city was putting in. My gosh, at one time, you can't believe the money was going out. You can. We had 8 people over there, specialists, that we were paying with benefits. The city was paying a flat $150,000 a year. I asked, the finance, person, Mosley, at
Very.
one time, because I was on the council, long about that. Oh, she said, Dean, we always put in more than that, even with what Hubbard is putting in. And now we don't have that money ran out,
Quick.
but well, what, 5 years ago or something like that.
It ran out, I believe, quicker than that. Even better, but it lasted about 8.5 years, I think.
when I was back on the council in 2012, we had to go down almost 100,000. So it was costing about $1 million. And we went down to 500,000, and then we couldn't hardly afford that. So we went down to about 300,000 a year. So
But again, the building, is ours. We don't owe anything. Again, y'all might at least think about selling this business, this building here. Might bring a lot of money and put in on the museum.
Have to find a place, you have to find a place.
Police department, the judge.
Police department, but that garage down there, Joy,
huge.
I spoke with Joy way before I even become counselor, even started to run. And he was telling me that the way that, and it's a shop, that's where they build frames and the thick fiberglass and stuff down there. And there's a bathroom in it too. So there's plenty of room down there that would be a good place for the police department. And there's a place upstairs could be turned into the for a judicial system.
There's offices downstairs, nice.
Well, they gotta be cleaned up though.
Yeah.
Those offices.
Pour some concrete on the floor so it'll level it up.
Well, that's only in one area and it's stable.
As what?
It's stable. That floor is.
I went down there like this.
It's only in one area though.
Joey can help us on that. I think, Joey has watched that. I think the structure itself is, sound now. At one time, it wasn't even safe to go in there. Joey, you still there?
Yes, sir. The structure itself is stable. It's the floor where they poured a 4-inch slab in between the beams that settled on that west end. And yeah, eventually that would need to be raised back up and flushed back out. But over the years where the city couldn't properly maintain that facility, it allowed for water and stuff to get under that floor of that building and settle underneath the slab. And so now Israel's done a bunch of work and we got a lot more to go to prevent that in the future. But yes, eventually we'll have to, level that floor. They come in and drill holes and pump concrete and pick everything back up and level it. But the building itself, the structure is stable. We had a company come and actually do a floor survey and a structural engineer look at it, and the building's not going to fall down or anything.
And being able to keep at least part of the museum would really be a good deal. Maybe some income from that, but certainly a draw, just like the horse statues, those wagons down there and this kind of thing. And
I would love
It's
to
tough.
set something up where we could all go down there and, walk around and look at it and talk while we're there.
Do a workshop down there?
Yeah. Well, so,
Field trip.
I don't want to lose this money.
oh, no, I'm not talking about, this is just for the design. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not gonna, yeah.
About it, I hope.
Yeah, no.
Stuff come up in month meeting, next month. meeting.
But I pumped a lot of stem walls around places.
Counselor
in
Baber,
Alto
that shouldn't be,
sunk. They just dig down and you put concrete under there, you can jack it
Oh, I
up.
can tell you exactly what they do. They just finished the feed store.
Did they?
Yeah, they jack it up, dig down about 4 foot, jack that building up, go inside,
Mhm.
punch holes and pump that foam in there and it,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I pumped concrete under them.
Yeah.
Alto and Deer.
Yeah, it's foam.
Joey, are you hearing, Counselor Baber, and rightly so, they could do, a better job or understand this better if they could walk through that with the, information that we have on these drawings.
Yes,
How
sir, I have
about
no
the-
problem. I can meet any of them there, Israel can, and we can show you the whole facility. You know, it's overwhelming, guys. It really is.
No, I
What's
saw
there?
it.
You know, the only way to ever open the museum again would be as a scaled down version and somehow to offset the cost. But seriously, today we're just here to approve the design, and y'all can, if you say no on the approval, then we spent 300,000, we don't have a design. If you say yes, we spent 300,000 and we have a design. That's kind of where it's at right now. Because council already approved for them to do this in the first place, so we're spending the money either way.
All right, what is being said right now is a good example of why we've got such good, public works people with Israel and Joe Jarvis. They're able to help us on this type of thing. No matter what the subject, they've always been able to step up. So we all thank you for that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're not trying to take the money away, Joey, at all. That's not the deal. It's just some of this stuff is just out of our reach.
I can agree with that, and I understand there's a stress of where to find the money, and I get it. That's the bridge we'll have to cross when we get there.
But we
You just-
can we okay this, Joey, and then change the design if we need to save money?
You could okay it and then go back, and yes, you could, and you'd just be paying another architect to change the design,
I got you.
which could be costly because most people don't want to work off somebody else's drawings for some reason. But yes, it's
How-
doable. We just need to okay this. and-
How quick do we got to do this, Joey?
They've been waiting on this for a month because they were supposed to be done in June, but because of everything that went on, we didn't get it done. And this expires, I want to say in December, but they're trying, they want to get this approved so they can produce the construction plans, the 100% plans, the bid documents, everything that it takes to send it out to construction. They got to get all that done and signed off on before December when the grant expires.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Joy,
Yes, sir.
It's Counselor Proctor.
what's the possibilities of dragging the feet on this and waiting till November to do it, and the prices go up between now and November? I mean, it just went up since
Well,
we got this one
you're
bid.
right. You're right,
So-
but we're still getting hung up on the numbers and pricing. None of that really matters with the design. I mean, they designed the building exactly what city staff said needed to be done. And that's all we're trying to get approved. I mean, whether we approve it today or in 6 months and the price changes, that's irrelevant for the grant.
Okay,
All that this is on here for is just to say, here's what they designed. Do y'all think it's, a good design, and sign it and move on? It doesn't mean anything else.
So we could all get together before the next meeting.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the next
But
2
I would
weeks.
recommend that we do that, and I'd also recommend that we put it on the next agenda for this month. And discussion and action on it. Not drag our feet on it, because the prices are gonna keep going up.
But my question is, council, is whether you sign it today or you put it on next month, what bearing does that have on this design? I mean, if Mr. Baber comes in and says, oh, I don't want these vaults, okay, then we're getting ready to spend a bunch more money to remove those vaults. There is no, like, we can't change it. We've already changed it to 2 that were allowed. So we can't do anything either way unless it costs us more money.
Well, whoever designed this, Joey, I mean, how many conference rooms do we need? We got a council chambers, we got a city council lobby, we got a large conference room, we got a small conference room.
I agree with that, but if you go even into the village and look at their city hall, all that stuff's been brought up because of, like, if the mayor has a meeting with council members, there's a small room to meet in. If I have a meeting with the FEMA people, there's a larger room to meet in. I get it, it's a lot, but that's kind of the standard anymore. And it's frustrating to me because a lot of stuff in there that cost a lot of money that I wouldn't have personally done has to be done now for safety of employees, safety of the public. There's a whole bunch of stuff that, just the bulletproof glasses, and people are not allowed to be in an area where the employees' offices are. There's a bunch of that stuff goes into it, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it's their requirements for the new safety rules and stuff.
So Joey, was this is a true statement? Is it? I'm sure they looked at the same situation we're doing, whether to build I know they had an option of building a new city hall in the village in Ruidoso or remodeling. They
Yes,
went
sir. They
with the
spent a ton of
remodeling,
money
just like
doing
we're
it.
talking about maybe doing
Yes,
the
sir.
museum.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And it's
Apparently
just,
that's the best option.
yes, and it's just where things have gone. I didn't understand a lot of this when I started into this city hall deal, but these guys that we got designing it are like extremely top notch. I urge you all to look at what they build on their website. They build like hospitals like MD Anderson. They build, small offices the size of the feed store. I mean, they're good architects. They build quality stuff. It is what it is. I mean, the one that was designed 4 years ago that was $7-8 million cost us $500,000. The senators paid for that. We got it designed, and we basically threw it away because the city can't afford to build an $8 million city hall. And I'd hate to see that happen here again. Is we look at it and people decide that, oh well, we need to remove all these conference rooms and remove this and remove this. Well, then here we go. Here's another $100,000 addition because we had to change all the plans and remove everything and reconfigure it a different way. I mean, it's y'all's money. Y'all can do as you see fit. I agree 100%. But I think we got a heck of a nice building for the amount we paid for architecture, and I think it's a fair estimate, honestly. I mean, Councilor Proctor, I think I told you, Mr. Baber, we went out to bid to build a bathroom 3 years ago, a single stall bathroom, 1 women, 1 men. We put it out to bid, and the bids came in at $600 a square foot. That's why I turned around and bought a prefab bathroom, because it was half that cost. Contractors seem to want to charge us more than anybody else because we're government, I think.
Right.
So your bottom line is, Joey, I think what I'm hearing, and maybe the councilors are, you're saying right now, don't put the horse before the cart.
Correct.
But we could go ahead, couldn't we go ahead with Councilor Proctor's suggestion to go ahead and do the tour and then vote on it at this next council meeting?
We can.
That's his recommendation.
Joy, you said that we had a design drawn up and built for, a new one over on the park, on the big field there at the, Horse and Museum, Museum of the Horse.
Yes, sir.
And it cost us $500,000.
Yes, sir.
We just pissed that away, right?
Well, I have the set of plans stored in a file. That's what I have.
Well,
No
I'm just
construction
saying,
documents, nothing.
we spent $500,000 and we're not using none of that now.
Correct.
Okay, that's all I need to know. And I don't think we need to do that on this either. We're already deep into it, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. I agree with Counselor Baber, and I do think that instead of changing the plan, like say we go to construction and we only have X amount of dollars, we could go in there at that point and do a change order and remove a conference room. But you don't want to have these architects redesign it to remove it, because then we're going to be paying big bucks now.
Thanks for saying
You
that,
know, it wouldn't
Joey.
be-
That's what I wanted to hear that.
It wouldn't be hard to, just not build a wall or not build a door, That could be a simple change order, but I think we need to just approve the design and at least just move on.
With the tour of the building, you'll see the space and, part of that is filling that space that we're trying to use for the city hall. You have this amount of space, you gotta use it, that part of that, it might be excess, but it's using the space to its fullest. And once you see this.
No, I got you, but if we could put dividers where everybody's protected back there instead of each person have an office. Everybody don't have to have their own little private office. Like I said, it's the Champagne plan, and we got beer budget.
So Ally, if all four of us went on this tour together, would you do like a notice of possible quorum because we're over there together, or should we break up into 2 and 2?
I can make a notice for possible quorum.
Like a training.
So Joey, do you want to tell us a day when you're available, or how can we pick a time that we can all get together?
If y'all got something open Thursday, that'd work for me.
Thursday is impossible for me. This Thursday, I'm having a pre-trial hearing because of an employee who lied about me. I'll be in court.
Tomorrow I'm
week,
tied up with
time next-
FEMA because I'm trying to get FEMA money for us, but Wednesday afternoon, we could probably do something. And if I can't do it, Israel can walk through with y'all.
That's true. You're a good tour guide.
Yeah, I'm cool with either one of them.
Time next week would be good for me up until the first week of October.
The doors are open right now. We can go at any time. We still have the EOC there, so.
Oh, that's really good.
How long are they gonna stay?
So they're 90 days are up.
Yep.
88 days.
We have no idea. Every day I hear they're moving out, but then I asked the head EOC and he knows nothing about that. So I don't really know what's going on there. Probably 90 days.
Would you be able to go now? If we get through here.
Sure. Got another appointment.
Oh, you got
Yeah, I've got
another
appointment
appointment.
this afternoon.
Well, I'm pretty busy Wednesday, Friday'd be the only day then.
We don't have to do it this week because the end of this month's not gonna check public vitals that quick. We can do it next week on a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
I have Friday the 13th open or Tuesday the 10th. Not really. I have Friday the 13th.
Did anybody hear what I said?
Yeah.
About
Next week,
that, yeah, Friday the
this
13th.
week is out for me. If
Friday
you
the-
wanna do it, then I won't be there. okay?
Friday
I
the
don't care.
13th is next week, Terry.
I spent a lot of
Oh,
time in
this
that
week.
museum, so I don't.
It's
Oh.
this
It
week.
is.
That is this.
Well, all we gotta do is approve this and,
Yeah.
you can go later and look too.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, let's look at next week. I'll start and go down the days. Monday, how's that for y'all?
That'd be too early for me.
All right,
Monday afternoon.
Tuesday,
I have a commitment on Tuesday.
Wednesday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday be good for me, all next week.
all right,
Tuesday.
Wednesday then, Council,
You work on
Tuesday,
Wednesdays.
but No, Naomi's here. I could get off Wednesday, yeah.
Wednesday, the 18th.
It'd have to be
Councilor
afternoon.
I'm easy.
I can get off Wednesday, the 18th. Sure.
As long as we do
Okay,
it
sounds
before.
like Wednesday then.
Okay,
That's the 18th.
What time of day be good for you guys?
Joey, when are you available in the afternoon?
It needs to be afternoon because me and the mayor have a JUB meeting Wednesday.
So like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock?
Sure. Sounds good to me. Yeah, that's fine. We're paving next week too, so that kind of throws a hitch in everything, but we'll make it work.
wait a minute, this is not something that we've got to do this week, next week, or the following week. It just gotta be done before the next council meeting, and that's gonna be
Third.
the 23rd, I believe. Yes, the 23rd, so that week would have to do it. I'm not beyond going down there on a Saturday.
I'll just pick a time and me or Israel will make sure one of us is there.
No worries.
On the 18th,
18th or
Sure.
work for me.
okay,
Well, I need to know the time, Joey, so I can post notice.
Just in the afternoon would be best.
2:00, 2:00.
that work.
It works for me.
18th at 4:00. We can't vote on it till next meeting.
Correct.
Okay, done deal.
Next item.
Yep. This item A is really, really tough, guys. It's a hard, but it's like I've told you in a previous meeting. That's why you make the big bucks, is to make these tough decisions.
Don't tell my wife about the big bucks.
She doesn't know for sure what you're making, probably.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Okay, item B is discussion on letter of financial commitment to Zia Therapy Center for the fiscal year 2026 to provide public transportation within the city of Ruidoso Downs in the amount of $86,430.
Thanks for changing it. Those are the numbers we
That's
talked
the
about.
right numbers.
They're the right numbers. It's not, nothing's changed on that, and I've seen them down here. I've seen people getting on it riding. I think there's more and more doing it. I wouldn't bet anything on it, how many people are riding it, but I do see them riding it. I do see them.
They go down past me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where they go, but they
Yeah,
go.
they go down there and pick up people and you know, or to pick them up in front of your house or certain stops. You just gotta be there and get them.
Oh.
And that's good for all the businesses.
Is that for everybody?
It's for
All
everybody.
citizens, yeah.
And tourists, it's good for the tourists to get them out of their hotel room and up to Harvey's Speed Store to look at your cute pets. But also across the streets a lot of stuff.
They're hitting the hotels.
Yeah, and it's like employees.
So it's not just for the elderly people.
It's for everybody.
Yeah. Working for our workforce, our
And they
tourists.
can actually get on it here and go all the way to Las Cruces to doctors.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hits that hospital there, Mountain View every day at noon. And I don't know what other stops, but I know for sure it goes to the hospital. If you want to go visit somebody or go get x-rays,
Just go for a ride?
you go for a ride.
That looks
Okay.
good.
It's really good for our community. It's a win-win situation.
That's a no-brainer. We've been
Right.
fighting for years to get it back.
Yeah.
And we finally got it back. And
Okay, so you're all in agreement, I guess.
Yes, sir.
I think so.
Okay, then from what I just read, it requires a letter to Zia. Is that right, guys?
Yes,
I
I think it's right here.
The letter.
A letter of
Financial commitment.
to Zia Therapy.
And I don't think we can do that, Mayor, until we actually vote on it at the 23rd of this month.
Okay.
Go under consent agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last agenda.
That takes care of it.
Takes care of the work.
Would you, you would love to make a motion to adjourn, sir. Would you like to do that?
Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I need to ask a question of the council before y'all adjourn. Because we kind of didn't do something right. The money we asked y'all to set aside for emergency funds. I just need
The
to get y'all's
150?
blessing to pay for the heating air condition unit we have to replace, or we did replace at the courts and PD.
Joey, you can't discuss that right now. It's on the agenda. You have to put it on the agenda.
Okay. That'll work.
That will be,
Put it on for the end of the month, 23rd, Joy.
I thought we
Okay, yeah,
already-
finance can put it on there. That was not me. I just thought, because I was here, I'd talk about it, but
Is that the
okay,
150?
sounds good.
150.
We already done that.
We did that.
We did it.
We already did that, Joy.
Joey, we done that line item.
He wants to change it, but it can't be discussed to the next agenda. It's not on the agenda.
I know,
You guys
but we
you
approved the
money to be
150
spent.
to do what you wanted to do with it.
Yes, but it'll be on the next agenda.
Okay.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Adjourn?
adjourn.
Okay.
Ellen,
Nay.
is there a community?
What?